Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. And I'm really excited to be joined by Benny Howell, joining me actually in quarantine, all the way from Pakistan. And that's because he's going to be joining Peshawar Zalmi in the PSL. And he's thankfully and gratefully and graciously even accepted to talk to me. So we're just going to have a quick chat about the PSL. He's just come from the BPL as well, from Bangladesh. Benny, how you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, pretty still in the room. Day 2 of quarantine, so one more day.
How have you found it? So one more day, right? So you've been there for 2 days. I'm assuming you're bored out of your mind.
Oh, I spent 2 weeks in quarantine in Australia last year, so I mean, 3 days isn't too bad. And I know, I know sort of the crack how it works. You have your afternoons where you feel a little bit lost at times, and then once the evening comes, you're all right.
What have you been doing for downtime? What type of shows have you been watching?
Downtime. I haven't been watching much. I sort of set a routine out from start to finish, the start of the day to the end of the day, because if I don't, I end up wandering aimlessly and the day can get longer. So I've been working out a couple of times a day, lots of stretching and stuff like that. I read a lot, I listen to podcasts. In the evening, we'll check on a Netflix show, so that'll be my reward for the day. So after this, I'll probably do that. Yeah.
That sounds very disciplined. And of course, Benny is, of course, listening to Quality Shot as well on the podcast. But what other
Yeah.
podcasts are you listening to? What type of podcasts do you listen to?
I listen to different types. I listen to guys like Jay Shetty. I don't know if you heard of him. Sort of like entrepreneurs and like growth, mindset sort of people. Tim Ferriss, Tom Bailey. I don't know. A number of them different. Depends on the mood.
Nice, nice. What's the guilty pleasure Netflix show that you chuck on?
I've just started watching Money Heist. So the first
Okay.
episode of that last night. Watching it in Spanish with the subtitles. It's really well. It's a good start. I was recommended it by Will Jacks, who's in Bangladesh. He watched the series there and he recommended it. So just going to get cracking on that.
He's that age group, to be fair. He's even younger than me, so I can imagine Money Heist. He's a similar age to one of my siblings, so yeah, I think that's the Netflix generation for sure.
Yeah, for
But
sure. They
yeah,
know everything. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. All the things to watch, all recommendations. So obviously you just come from Bangladesh. So how do you find it? First of all, you were there, and you guys actually went quite far, obviously to qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, and I'm gonna struggle to pronounce the name because I'm really bad, but with the challengers, I'm gonna say
I figure I'm.
um, Chattergram. There we go. Thank you very much, Chattergram challengers, who I know you've obviously performed in the BPL before. I know you've had a couple of seasons there, but how do you find it this year? And you guys got quite far as well. And I saw there's quite a lot of like tech, like different types of cricket tech going on analysis as well. Quite interestingly, I saw you share a couple of bits. So, for example, like batting power rankings, for example. So, in terms of like measured in watts, which was quite interesting, and some other bits and pieces. But yeah, how was your overall experience there?
Yeah, it was good fun actually. It was a good trip. It was more, I guess, because I've been to BPL a few times. I was actually wanting to not experiment, but the first time I started bowling leg spin in a game and off spin in a game, to bring it out. I've been working on it for a while to add value. So it was quite good doing that, and that was a bit of an experience getting it out there. And luckily I performed right with the bat as well. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Whereas in the last few years, my bowling's been my main strength, and now my batting's starting to really fire. So that's good news, I guess, for future. So obviously keep working on that. So yeah, it was a pretty. I'd say it's a defining tournament for me in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot. Well, I definitely saw. I watched a couple of the matches and also some of the highlights, and batting definitely looked like it was on fire at times. So that's probably why you're on that leaderboard as well. So in fact, you might have a better understanding of it. But that those kind of power rankings, that batting, I think you were like third on the list actually. What does that measure, and how does it measure? Because I know you're a kind of you like looking into the kind of analysis type of side at times as well.
I'm going to disappoint you with this answer. I actually don't know. They give us the bat handles between each game, and it obviously measures, I don't know, the speed at which your bat's coming down to point of contact, shot efficiency and stuff like that. But I'm not actually sure exactly how it works. I haven't actually looked into it as of yet. But a lot of people are using that and they're bringing it out. So just to measure, I think they need to explain a little bit more exactly how it works. But yeah, I'm not too sure.
Bat speed and whether you middled it or not. Maybe if I can try and dumb it down, I guess it's probably something along those lines. But yeah, definitely look good. The leg spin, off spin that you just talked about is really interesting. So that you brought that to your game, and you've obviously got multiple variations already. So how did you find, one, bowling it, and two, how effective was it as well? And is that something that you developed and kind of brought out because it was a subcontinent pitch, or will you be using it, for example, not just in the subcontinent, but in, say, the 100 or for Gloucester as well?
Anywhere, I would say. It just depends on the pitch, the batters, and the situation, I guess. I'm working on it for a while. Actually, it's been going really well in the nets. I think when I started bowling the game, it was more like just trying to get the feel of doing it in the game, like the nerves, like worrying how it would come out initially. And actually, it was pretty successful. I worked for less runs in my leg spin than my normal T20 run up. In the end, didn't get many wickets, but I didn't bowl too many balls with it either. But it was actually, I was very pleased with it. Like, I mean, there was a lot of room for improvement, but very happy I got it out there.
Yeah, it's definitely innovative for sure, which is really interesting. Yeah, how do you think Chittagong did overall? Were you happy as a team where you guys placed? I mean, I'm assuming you obviously wanted to win.
I think in the end we didn't have the names like a couple of the other teams had, and we were obviously right up against it with a couple of games to go in the group stages. We won them. They're pretty close games, and we won also a close game in the sort of quarterfinal to play Camilla, and then we got absolutely destroyed by Camilla. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get enough runs in the end. We got run out with 3 overs to go, which was a bit of a shame. And then Sunil and Orion took the game away, hit like four sixes in 1 over early on, and that was game done. So, I mean, we're pretty pleased as a team, I think, considering the names that we're up against. Like, for example, that team had Sunil and Orion, Moeen Ali, Faf du Plessis, to name a few. So, it was pretty good effort. Yeah, it's pretty good effort, to be honest. And then the other team, I think in the final had Shakib as the captain. Yeah, Majid, Chris Gale, Dwayne Bravo. So you'd have to be right on your A game to beat them.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm gonna quickly ask you, as I just before we move on, in that tournament, if you had to name, I know it's quite hard, but if you had to name one bowler and one batsman, the hardest to face, which ones would you pick from the tournament?
Hardest to face by far was Majid. Honestly, like when the wicket was turning slightly, he was a nightmare. He's so accurate, and he'd be able to move it both ways. It's pretty tough to play, for sure. I'd say batter, tough one. I only bowled a couple of balls to Mo Ali, a few to Faf. I wouldn't say anyone in particular batter-wise that I would say I was really struggled against. I think Shakib played pretty well that tournament. He's obviously a dangerous player. I think he had a good tournament as well.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And then on to, I guess, the PSL then. So you're linking up with Peshawar Zalmi. I mean, are you excited for it, firstly? And how do you think they've done so far? And then also the pitches as well. Like, what's your read on it, if you've watched any of the matches so far?
Yeah, I have. It was on all the main channels in Bangladesh, so we managed to watch quite a few games there as well. It looks pretty flat, a lot of big scores, eh? It looks like a top comp. I mean, the crowds are coming in now, so it's nice to have some crowds in Bangladesh. We didn't have any crowds because of, I don't know, they made the rules of COVID, no crowds. But here, it's good that you can see them coming in. So it may be interesting because coming in straight to a playoff game. If we win, you're going to be playing the next game. If you lose, I'll be going home. So it's a strange situation. So I'm actually looking forward to it, to be honest, because it's like, you just give it your all. You have to get stuck in straight away, pretty much. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, probably shouldn't say this, but I kind of support Lahore, so Maybe you'll face them in the. I guess at the moment, the way the tables, although actually today Peshawar are playing Lahore, so and that's starting in a little bit of time actually. So
I don't know what the stats are, but it looks like Peshawar to get the top 2 to beat Lahore, they have to beat them by like a ridiculous amount or something.
Yeah, I think it's quite high margin. Yeah,
too much probably, unless it's
yeah.
Something happens. Otherwise, it looks like we're playing in Islamabad in that first, in the second, a quarter final, if you like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'll be playing Will Jacks, who I've been playing with all in Bangladesh.
Yeah, exactly.
Not funny. Actually, I've got him out a few times in Expo and leg spin, so maybe I'll do that in
the game. Maybe, exactly. Yeah, talking about Islamabad as well. So obviously they've had a lot of like changes because they had Alex Hales at the top with Paul Sterling. Then Paul Sterling had to go because of international duty. Alex Hales has gone, I think, because of bubble fatigue. He was batting really well. And their captain, Shadab Khan, he's injured and he's like the top wicket taker and he's like top 6 hitter, I think, before he got injured as well. So they've had like loads of different changes there. So it'll be interesting with Will Jacks coming in. I wonder if they're drafting anyone else as well. But that'll be interesting. Have you watched much of Islamabad as well? Or no?
I have actually last few nights on TV here. Yeah, seen a few. I think my mate Liam Dawson's played all right the last game or two, so he's done well, bowling wise especially. I've been watching a bit. So, I mean, I do my proper research when I'm out, when I get to speak to the analysts and see who's going to be playing potentially and work out the best plans. But there looks like pretty good wickets. But I also think decent wickets for me to bowl on if I can have good change of pace and mix it up well with bowling the right areas for each batter. Then, I'm looking forward to it.
It definitely looks like it's definitely gripping. To be fair, it's definitely gripping.
I think it looks like it's starting to do a little bit now, isn't it? Whereas at the start it was all batting.
Yeah, the first leg in Karachi, there were some huge scores, like 200 plus, and then I think when they switched to Lahore, the second leg of the tournament, I think there have been some big scores, but that's mainly because of people like Jason Roy going ballistic. I think for the most part, it's been gripping quite a bit. So the spinners, or kind of people who can bowl good change ups into the surface have had a lot of success.
Yeah, with Liam Livingston gone, that adds. I mean, I've got my normal stuff that I've done my whole career, but also adds potential me bowling my spin as well if it suits. So, I guess we'll see. I'm looking forward to speaking to, Shoaib Malik, who plays to the side, and I'm looking forward to playing alongside him and Wahab Riaz as well. Would be good.
Yeah. So those are the I was going to ask you in terms of like, I'm assuming you played with already some of the players in the team, but kind of who out of not even just the players, but even some of the coaching staff, is anyone particularly that you're looking forward to playing with or kind of talking to?
Yeah, Shoaib Malik's one for sure. He's been around for years. Wahab Riaz, I spoke to a lot on T10. He was asking me about how to bowl a knuckleball actually. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again. Shoaib Malik's one definitely. I'm looking forward to picking his brains. He's obviously been a class performer for years. James Foster's the coach. He was on the coaching staff with Corner Titans a few years ago at Bangladesh. So he's a good man. Looking forward to seeing him as well. So there's a number of players there that I'm looking forward to meet. But Shoaib Malik's one I'm definitely looking forward to playing alongside.
Are you looking forward to fielding potentially second with the mist and the lights? Because there's been quite a few drop catches, ironically. Quite funnily.
Tell me that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll warn you now because I've seen I think David Willey even yesterday. I think it was yesterday for Multani, and I think some of the players have said, like Ben Cutting said, when you're fielding second anyway. So as a batting side, there's sometimes due, obviously that's an advantage, but then also as a fielding side. On some occasions, there just seems to be fog or mist in the evening, and the ball just like comes straight out of there, and you almost have to adjust. So David Willey had to adjust yesterday, and you could just see. I think the amount of drop catches is like it's kind of abnormal, and I think that's part of it as well. So I was going to ask you whether you're looking forward to the challenge or not.
Oh well, I do my best. If I catch it, I catch it. If I don't, unlucky bowler.
Yeah, exactly. But it would be good. What we actually in terms of like food and stuff as well? Do you like Pakistani food? You don't have to say yes.
Well, to be honest, my stomach hasn't agreed with it, so I haven't had the best of times the last day or two here with it.
Don't worry, I've actually
been been in Bangladesh for the whole time and I was fine. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. Must have eaten something.
Yeah. To be fair though, like even though it's in a similar region, I think still different type of food and like probably spices and stuff as well. So
Yeah,
it's funny. I actually had I've only been to Pakistan once as well, and actually part of it was actually ironic. Well, not ironically, but when I got married, so half of my event was there. And my son didn't agree to it either. And I've grown up like eating
really.
Pakistani food my whole life, so don't worry if you. It's like straight away. But they just say like the first time you go there, unless you've got like unless maybe you've grown up there, the first couple of days can be a bit tricky. But I got over after the first few days. But yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting the first few days there as well. Yeah, in terms of that, then so obviously, yeah, you guys Peshawar have got. Playing later on, and then also, yeah, most likely Istanbul as well. So that'll be exciting.
Playing soon, aren't they?
Yeah,
playing 4 minutes. Yeah,
in 4 minutes exactly. Yeah, so the toss has happened. I'll be tuning in for that, and yeah, Peshawar batting first, and in fact they've got the lineup as well. So Zazai and Akmal to open.
Zazai, I played with him in the Bangla Tigers in T10 as well. So
yeah, he's power. Really exciting to watch. And I just wanted to touch upon before we kind of wrap up. I'll let you also watch the match as well because I'm sure you're going to be interested in watching it. But the IPL pick for Kings XI Punjab. I mean, how much of a surprise was that? And I'm assuming you're excited for that later on this year.
Yeah,
as well.
it was a shot. I just didn't expect it. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't have my head around it, to be honest. So that's why it was a shot. But now I've been picked. I'm excited. Looking forward to getting stuck in. Yeah, it's starting to sort of kick it. Yeah, sort of like feelings kicking in now. Ready to talking to the Indian or the Punjab, all the admin people sorting out kit and flights and all that sort of stuff and training, everything. It's pretty well looked after and run. I think the whole competition and each team in it compared to a lot of the franchise tournaments that I played in. So it's exciting, definitely.
Yeah. Is there anything particularly you're looking forward to kind of experiencing there as well? Any players or coaches?
I'm looking forward to. He's a coach. I'm looking forward to asking about spin for sure.
Yeah.
As I'm working
honing
on
your
that.
craft.
Yeah, exactly. Shikhar Dhawan's a good one. I think he's obviously a big name, big player. It'd be cool to see. I mean, just everything. I think everything about the IPL will be great. I just can't wait. It's gonna be a long time, 2 months. So hopefully I can get my family out there at some point. But no, it's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. So because after the PSL, you coming back and then
go
going?
home. Gloucestershire are meant to be they're on a pre-season tour to Dubai start of March for 10 days, but I'm just going to stay home, do not nothing, but pretty much rest, see the family for a few weeks, and probably travel to India mid-March. Have a week or a few days training or 5 days training there, and then before the first game.
Yeah. Hopefully you can get the family out. That'll be good as well. I know you obviously you're in Bangladesh and now it's in Pakistan. They're going to be in India. So you've done a tour of the subcontinent.
Yeah, it's when you have two kids, two little kids. It's hard. They miss you miss them. So it's not all glitz and glamour playing in these things. It takes its toll at times, but it's a sacrifice you've got to make.
Yeah, you just got the Lanka Premier League to tick off, and then you've done the whole subcontinent.
Exactly. Yeah, actually, no, I was actually going to do that actually after T10, but deal fell through and I went home. So it's probably a good thing actually in the end. Yeah, it would have been too much.
Yeah, but at least you had a little bit of a break there at least, which is nice. Well, I'll leave you to watch the match and also enjoy your last day as well. Then obviously you'll be able to be out and about, and if you want any kind of touring places to go and see in Lahore, then feel free to reach out.
I think we're in strict hotel. We can't leave. We can just go to the pool and stuff. Unfortunately, I think security.
Oh no, I was saying after quarantine. After quarantine, I was saying.
Yeah, no, even then we can't. I'm only in room
quarantine.
Really? Yeah. You can't leave the hotel. It's pretty strict. COVID bubble and everything else.
Okay, so it's a proper secure bubble.
Okay. It's very security conscious here as well, just to make sure everything. I guess all the cricket does stay in Pakistan. There's no incidents, as It's rightly so, I guess, because they obviously want more cricket to be played in Pakistan. They got to make sure it's secure.
No, that's understandable.
Even though it would be
Makes sense.
nice to see things and visit, but it is what it is.
Well, I'm sure if maybe next year, with obviously everything that's going on with the pandemic and security stuff as well, I'm sure if you do manage to visit again, you'll be able to have more of a varied experience, which would be nice as well. But yeah, thanks for your time, Benny, as well as always. Appreciate it. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, all good. No, all good.
Yeah, well, yeah, thanks again, guys, as well. We, of course, are on YouTube, but we're also now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. as well. So do follow us here as well. And good luck, Benny, with Peshawar. And also, if I don't speak to you before the IPL as well, good luck there as well. Looking forward to seeing you out there as always.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.